Alright, hello there everybody. Are you reading me loud and clear? How's everyone doing this fine day? Hello! Greetings all. Welcome to the World of Antiquity channel. If you hadn't heard of me before, I do ancient history and archaeology. And today we're going to be going live here to talk about the latest archaeological news. That would be the things that have happened just in the last month. And, oh, there's an echo? There's an echo. Okay. I'm using new streaming software. Why is there an echo? I'm using my microphone. We gotta fix that, right? Is everybody getting an echo? I'm assuming so. Everybody's getting an echo? Alright, let me go to my settings here. I switched software because the last software I used wouldn't let me do high res, so okay. So I've got the let's do this. Alright. Can you hear me now? Any echo? Any audio at all? Still an echo. Still an echo. Shoot. Okay. Let's try... Okay, I'm going to try something else. Okay. Now how does it sound? Better? Oh, okay, I figured it out. Alright, sorry about that, everybody. Alright, look at all the people coming in here. Great! Wow, I'm so happy you all tuned in. We got 47 people so far. Well, the reason why I do this every month is because I like you to know that archaeology updates, okay? Sometimes you'll be on the internet and you will see people talking about how those archaeologists are so stuck in their ways, they never want to change their minds about anything. You know, they never revise the timeline of history. And today we're going to see, as we do every month, that the timeline of history is constantly being revised. So, and we got some good news this month. So the first announcement, the big one that I want to share with you, is probably the big news of the maybe year? I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what you... Okay. So what we're looking at here, I've collected all the headlines of the discoveries over the last month. And this one is from India. Can you all see the article? This one's from India. It's from southern India. And we're talking about the possibility that the Iron Age for the world is going to have to be pushed back in time. Yeah, for when iron... I shouldn't say the world, I just mean in the world, the first place that we have evidence for the smelting of iron, which before we believed to be the Hittites, the Hittite Empire in Anatolia, around, between 1500 and 1300 BCE or so, might need to be revised to southern India. Yes. So now this is this one here that from the Times of India, the urn that kept a 5,000-year secret. This just has this is the one that you can access. Now there is the original article behind a paywall, which I have right here. I've got a PDF of it because you'd have to subscribe otherwise, and I didn't subscribe. So, but I found this. A new study says Iron Age began hundreds of years earlier in Tamil Nadu. This is in southern India. Why this is important. Okay. Now this site has been excavated for some years now. It's called Sivagale. I hope I'm saying that right. And they've recently done testing on some of the things that they found. So that's what this big discovery is. It's the discovery after the fact. You know, you have all your artifacts and now you're going to analyze them using science, and they've done some dating. Okay, so the findings were produced in a report titled "Antiquity of Iron: Recent Radiometric Dates from Tamil Nadu." Here's what they found. Iron technology. I didn't do the highlighting here, somebody else did. Iron technology in Tamil Nadu dates as far back as 3345 BCE. This is like 2,000 years earlier. This is not just a few centuries. This is 2,000 years earlier. Okay? This is supported by accelerator mass spectrometry and optically stimulated luminescence dating. Okay? And then you can see some photos here of the site where they found many things, but they were basically testing what was found in urns. But 3 types of iron smelting furnaces were identified. This is not just the one site, but some other sites as well. They didn't find it as early, but they did find evidence of iron smelting there. Anyway, they took a bunch of samples. A paddy sample from a burial urn in Sivagale was dated to 1155 BCE, while charcoal and potsherds from the same site provide dates ranging from 2953 to 3345. Now, it's probably not going to be on the earliest end of this, but it's still very early. At another site, Maila Dumpare, I don't know if I'm saying that right, was dated to 2172 BCE. Okay, and Kilnamandi, 1692 BCE. Experts consulted in the study observed that this discovery is a turning point in Indian archaeology. It establishes that Tamil Nadu was not merely a participant in the evolution of metallurgy, but an innovator, as the smelted iron findings have been dated to the middle of the 3rd millennium BCE for the first time in the world, altering the understanding of global cultural trajectories. Yeah. Now, with that being said, there's one caveat, and that is, it's got to be checked now, okay, right? Everything undergoes peer review. We have to, of course, continue to collect data on all of that to verify, confirm. But right now, it's looking like we may have to date iron smelting a little bit early. Now, this is going to make some people unhappy. People who have a competitive mind will be unhappy, you know. Maybe people who are like loving the Hittites are like, no way. Or, you know, people in northern India might not be happy about southern India having it first. Whatever the case, we'll have to see how things go. But this is a major discovery. Okay, this is a big discovery. So pretty exciting. All right, Kissy says, didn't India produce that really good iron that was used in Damascus steel? Oh, a little bit. This would be later, of course. But yeah. Oh yeah, Sion, of course, answered as well. Wood steel, yeah. What about the iron plate found at Giza? That dates back to 3500 BC. Oh, are you talking about that was found inside the Great Pyramid, Giovanni? There's some debate about the provenance of that item, and we're not exactly sure if the dating, we're not exactly sure about the dating on that. So we need some more. This is the same thing we have going on here, right? If just one sample was taken and found and have an early date like that, well, actually, there basically is, okay? But there are other sites that have been producing similar results, if not really that far back. So we have to collect more and more data to kind of get a better picture of it to confirm. But when you only have one object and one date from it, it makes it a little bit iffy. You know what I'm saying? So the jury is out on that. Carrie says, this is an amazing discovery. The potential for tracing the technology is going to spark new theories and discoveries. Fun. Yes, absolutely. All right, let's look at another discovery from this month, shall we? All right. Ancient artifacts unearthed in Iraq shed light on hidden history of Mesopotamia. This is an announcement from the University of Central Florida, which is not too far from where I live. Tiffany Early Spadoni, an associate professor at UCF, and a team of researchers made new discoveries during fieldwork at the Bronze Age site of Kabristan. Kabristan is in the Kurdish area of Iraq. Okay, so this is in the northern part of Iraq. All right, you can see a picture of the site there. Now they found some clay tablets here with writing on them. You can see actually one clay tablet in this second photo. There were 3 of them that were found. It was found in a debris-filled corridor in the Lower Town Palace. All right, so they've been uncovering all kinds of things there. But what is it talking about when it's talking about hidden history? Well, the Middle Bronze Age in northern Iraq, it says, is poorly understood due to limited prior research. So it's very rare to find actual primary sources, writings from the Middle Bronze Age period in that region. All right, now she says they hope to find more, and they want these documents to help them to reconstruct the history of the city. Okay, they don't even know a lot about how writing developed in northern Iraq at that time, so this will also tell us about the development of writing in that area. We know a lot more about the writing in southern Iraq, down where the Sumerians lived. But up here in the north, not so much. Okay, so that's what it's saying when it says it's a hidden history. We don't know a lot about this period in this area. And so the discovery of the tablets is a huge step forward, and it's promising because there probably will be more found. Now, as far as what those tablets say, I don't think they translated them yet, or if they did, they haven't published it yet. Here's another shot of the site. And here's some potsherds that were found also. And there's Tiffany Early Spadoni. So she's the one that is leading the expedition over there. They worked from May to July 2024. And they had also worked all the way up until the 10 years up to that point. Yeah, so anyway, hopefully we'll find some more things there, and when they do translate some of these texts, I will be the first person to tell you about it, hopefully. All right, let's look at another one here. New Pompeii excavation reveals a large private thermal complex built 2,000 years ago. Now, the excavations in Pompeii have recently kicked up again. They've been excavating a new portion of the city. You probably thought, oh, it's all done. No, it's not done. They're working on another area of the city that has not been uncovered yet, and they've been finding things. I think I showed you last month some frescoes that had been found. Well, now they found this huge bath complex, and you can see part of it here in the image. The baths were unearthed in the so-called Regio Novum section of the city, and as you may already know, Pompeii was destroyed in the volcanic eruption in the year 70. We have here perhaps the largest thermal complex in a private house in Pompeii, said Gabriel Zuchtriegel, director of the Pompeii Archaeological Park. The members of the ruling class of Pompeii set up enormous spaces in their homes to host banquets. So this thermal complex was not a public bath. It was in some wealthy person's house. Can you imagine having a beautiful spa in your house? Didn't do much good, did it? Okay. Oh, we got some comments here. I haven't seen the last of latest Archaeological Discovery series live, so I'm happy to see this one live. Okay, bass player, glad to have you. And guess what? I also am a bass player. Yeah. Haven't picked up my bass in a couple of years, though. Jim says, I wonder if there might be some pre-dynastic Egyptian kings' tombs waiting to be found in northern Niger, Chad, and southern Libya. Well, Niger and Chad are a little bit far away. Southern Libya, that's more possible for sure. Yeah. Thanks for being a voice for human history. Thank you, last of my generation. Glenn, you have arrived. Glenn, my moderator, is here. I was wondering where he was. Thanks for coming, Glenn. You are here just like you said you would be. Great. Kissy Kissy says, I love learning about dead languages. I have a student, ELA, that is determined to translate Linear A. Hey, the more people working on these things, the better, right? All right. Let's look at another one, huh? 4,100-year-old tomb of doctor who treated pharaohs discovered at Saqqara. Yeah, so now Saqqara, as you may know, is just filled with tombs. nobles' tombs, and of course royal tombs as well. And they're always finding stuff there. So you might say, oh, yeah, another tomb at Saqqara. But you know what? You learn something from every tomb that you uncover. And there's so much more there to be uncovered. But anyway, they found this tomb. It's a pretty old one, right? 4,100 years old. That would put it around 2100 BCE, which would be in the Old Kingdom. And here you can see part of it right here with a hieroglyphic inscription around the edge of it. All right, and it tells us whose tomb it is. It's the tomb of a doctor. Yes, a physician. And his name is Tetinebefu. Tetinebefu, I think. And it was a Swiss-French team that uncovered it. You might be wondering, like, and we see this actually when we do our archaeological discoveries every month, that there are quite a number of foreign archaeological teams in other countries, right? So in Egypt, it's not just Egyptians that are doing the excavations. There are people from many different countries that come in. Now, they have to get permission and a license and all of that, but there's so much to excavate in Egypt. Like, there's just a lot of room there that, you know, you can go here, you can go there. And then they have, like, permission to excavate that area and also be the only ones that will excavate that area. And so this Swiss-French team is working in just one section of Saqqara, and this is what they've uncovered. So it's very, very cool. Okay, he held the title of Conjurer of the goddess Serket. You've probably maybe heard of Selket. It's the same goddess. Yeah, so that what that means is he was a specialist in poisonous bites. If you got bit by a snake or a scorpion, you want to go to this guy. All right. He was also director of medicinal plants. Yeah, and chief dentist. So, pretty important character. Oh, you can see some more down here of the inside. Paint still on the walls. Look at that, still very colorful. It's not a big tomb, but he seems to have been important. Now, he worked under Pepe II, we think, all right, or someone that came maybe directly after him. So this is right near the end of the Old Kingdom. Okay? Now, speaking of Saqqara, I pulled another one up about that, because, so since we're talking about it, because there's another find at the site from this month, and it actually moves the border of the cemetery further north. In other words, Saqqara is already huge. It's gigantic, okay? But they found one that was beyond the known northern border of the cemetery, even further north, and that's extending now the boundaries of Saqqara. It's bigger than we thought. All right. The discoveries, which include structures and artifacts from the 2nd, 3rd, and 18th dynasties, expand the known boundaries of the Saqqara necropolis. So here you can see some of what they uncovered. 4 mastaba tombs from the late 2nd dynasty and early 3rd dynasties. And they're over the top of... Wait, that's weird. Wouldn't the 18th dynasty be over the top of them? I'm sorry. And over 10 burials from the 18th. Okay, so it's not on top of it. Okay, I just read that wrong. All right, look at, you can see some of it here. The new evidence suggests that Saqqara was not only a major burial site during the Old Kingdom, but also became significant during the New Kingdom, when Memphis was reinstated as Egypt's capital. Yeah. So some interesting finds from there. Look at, there's a body. So that was another thing that I thought was kind of interesting. David, in an upcoming video, could you please discuss the latest findings in the Chincanas in Peru? Ground-penetrating radar reveals miles of underground labyrinth in the Sacsayhuaman site. Yeah, I mean, well, I'll have to see if it's worth a whole video, Nehemiah, but absolutely, if it is, I should consider it. The only thing that would hold me back from that is the Inca are not in my time period. Okay, they're like what we would consider medieval. So that's one reason I only have one video on Sacsayhuaman. because everyone keeps asking me about the walls and are they older and all of that, so I did have to make a video on it. But technically, the site is not an ancient site. But it is interesting, certainly interesting, about those underground passages. Carrie asks, how was the doctor sexed? The writing, bone, examination, or other? I think it was the text, Carrie. It would have identified who he was, and it would have identified him as a man. You're coming from Dr. Hillman's channel. Welcome, Tina. Glad you could make it. Bass player says, those tomb walls are beautiful. Yes. Did Cleopatra die from poison or snake? Well, the snake had the poison. Oh, you mean, I see what you're saying. You want to know if she had the asp bite her and poison her, or if she just took the poison from a snake and drank it or something. I think she had the snake bite her. All right. Giovanni says, why are some Egyptian pharaonic or nobility tombs intricately decorated and others completely bare? Well, it depends on how much money you have, okay? And some, if you're higher up on the totem pole, so to speak, in the society, in the hierarchy, you're going to probably have a better salary, more money, and you'll be able to spend more. But also the money might depend on how quickly you die. So, for example, it's not even about money then. It's about, like, I didn't have the time to make a tomb. See, if you live a long time, you're always working on the tomb. You're making it better and better and better and better, right? And if you're still not dead yet, you're like, let's add some more things to my tomb, and the tomb can get more elaborate. So sometimes that has something to do with it as well. And so it depends. It depends. Let's see. Nehemiah says, I love your video on the Saqqara site you made 3 years ago. Good job. I'm glad you liked it. All right. Oh, yes, Glenn, it's not poison, it's venom, right? But the venom is poisonous. All right, let's look at another one, shall we, folks? Divers discover 2,500-year-old shipwreck. My scroll is not working right. Okay, look at this, off the coast of Sicily. You can even see some wood there, folks. Look at that. From the hull. A shipwreck dating back to the 5th and 6th centuries BC was discovered in the waters of Santa Maria del Focolare near Ispica on the southern tip of the Italian island. Along with ancient anchors made of stone and iron. Is it Foccialo or Focalo? Yeah, I need to work on that a little bit in my Italian. The shipwreck discovered off the coast of Sicily could offer new insights into ancient Greece. Yes, it was a Greek vessel. It was buried under 20 feet of sand and rock. The ancient wreck was not alone in its discovery. Just a few feet away, the team found 2 iron-inverted T-anchors, likely from the 7th century AD, as well as 4 stone anchors that are thought to be from the prehistoric era. I guess it's an area where there were quite a few shipwrecks over time. Okay? Yeah. According to a translated statement from the Sicilian region superintendent of the sea, these findings shed light on the region's rich maritime history. Yeah, you can see another image here. Over the centuries, mollusks have eaten away at the ship's hull, which was constructed using the on-the-shell technique. This is how they built ship's hulls sometimes, and you can tell from what's left there how they did it. So there was enough to be able to tell that. Well, if they made a 3-dimensional model of the shipwreck, then it's probably in that video, which I didn't get a chance to watch yet. But anyway, yeah, so hopefully we'll hear some more back from them. Maybe they'll find some of the cargo. But that was another cool discovery. Ancient papyrus from Judean desert shows Roman tax fraud. You might say this is kind of specific, it isn't super groundbreaking, but it is the longest Greek papyrus ever found in the Judean desert. So it's almost 2,000 years old. You can see an image of it right here. Look at that, huh? and it was had 133 lines of text. And when they first found it, which was some years ago, this is, in other words, we're talking about a new discovery after examining this papyrus. We already had it for a little while. First they thought it was Nabatean. Then in 2014 they realized it was Greek. I guess the handwriting was really bad. And there was a new analysis published in the paper or the journal Tike. All right. And it's notes for a trial, before a trial. So it's basically the prosecutor is making notes about an upcoming trial on tax fraud. And they have all these notes about the trial and how they're preparing for it and what the information that they needed for it and all of that. So it's like lawyer's notes. It's really cool. This is the best documented Roman court case from Judea, apart from the trial of Jesus. Adds Avner Ecker. Yeah. The main defendants were Gadalius and Saulos. They were accused of forgery, tax evasion, and the fraudulent sale and release of slaves in Judea and Arabia. People don't change, do they? Gadalius had a criminal history involving violence, extortion, counterfeiting, and inciting rebellion. Saulus orchestrated the fictitious sale and release of slaves without paying Roman taxes. I don't know if that was the worst part of what he did, not paying the taxes. But yeah, they forged the documents to conceal their activities. So anyway, this is really cool, right? You don't usually get information like this. So especially those who are interested in legal history will love discoveries like this. So it was recently analyzed and translated. So you want to click on that, you can go to the paper. I'm going to put links to all of these news headlines underneath the video after I'm done. I don't put them there before I do the live stream because then everyone just clicks on them and they don't watch me. But anyway, I will put them there after the video. All right, and then you can go check them out and get more information if you want. Brent says, "Hi Brent, hey, good to see ya. The sea between Sicily and Italy can be very stormy." That's right. Yeah. And we got people here talking about clam chowder. What's better, New England or Manhattan? Mollusks. I'll have 2 boats on the rocks, says bass player. Let's see. Keep up the good work, says Raphetic. Ready for a discussion when you are. Raphetic has been making lots of comments lately on the channel, and I try to reply back when I can. Yes. All right. Yes, human nature does not change. All right. Let's look at another one here. Secrets of Alexander the Great mosaic revealed after first of its kind analysis. Now, you've probably seen the Alexander mosaic. You probably recognize it in this photo here. You ever seen that photo of the mosaic? All right. Well, they did some restoration work on it and some analyses as well. They basically figured out where the little stones came from. Okay? They're basically sourcing the tiles. They're called tesserae that went into the mosaic. Okay? Tesserae is spelled like Tesserae if you're looking for it. Tesserae, maybe tesserae. It depends if we want to do English or Latin. What is the Alexander mosaic? It's a 2,000-year-old mosaic. I think it is the oldest art we have of Alexander. Am I right on that? Oh, no. We've got some images of him in Egypt as a pharaoh from his time or shortly thereafter, so that would be older. But anyway, he looks like a pharaoh in that art. But this was buried in Pompeii, so this had come from Pompeii. It's been out for a long time. 1831 it was discovered. All right, in a wealthy family's house. It's in the National Archaeological Museum of Naples, and that's where they're working on it. And yeah, so where did the stuff come from? By the way, there are 10 different colors in the mosaic. All right, you can see the list of colors there. And here's the whole thing. There's parts missing, as you can see, but it's an amazing mosaic. Right? And we got Alexander in it, right? He survived, and that's Darius, his enemy over there. This is the Battle of Issus. Darius the Persian. Some of the white tesserae could be related to the Marmor lunensis, the white crystalline limestone from the Apuan Alps. Could be. I guess that they're not entirely sure. The intense pink tesserae may have come from Portugal. Some of the yellow blocks may have come from the Roman city of Samitus in what is now Tunisia. And dark red pieces may be from Cape Matapan in Greece. The team also detected traces of natural wax in the mineral gypsum. I mean, you might say, oh, this is very specific. I'm not sure if I'm interested in that. But if you are into art, or if you're into industry and craft, and you want to know also about the economy and where people are getting things to make things, I think that's very interesting. So that was about the Alexander mosaic. Then we have something in Jerusalem. The one of its kind, unique structure discovered in ancient Jerusalem. So you can see here under these works, under these metal works, some of the remains. Okay, this is on the eastern slope of Jerusalem. This is the old city of David, within the walls of the Jerusalem National Park. Okay, and it was unearthed by the Israel Antiquities Authority. 8 rock-carved chambers containing an altar, an obelisk, an oil press, and a wine press. And they've never seen anything like this before. Okay, it's from the First Temple period. All right, so that's pretty old. 8th century BCE. 8th century BCE. This is when the kingdom of Judah was there. All right, 8th century. That's about the time that people like Hezekiah are said to have ruled and things like that. Yeah. So this structure, comprising 8 rock-hewn rooms, was used for ritual purposes while the temple still stood on the Temple Mount. Okay? So it's not the temple, right? The temple's been destroyed, and they can't excavate on the Temple Mount. But it is a ritual structure from the time of the first temple. So, pretty interesting discovery. Yeah, you can see some more here. Look at the floor. Mysterious carvings, they call them. I can't tell you what they are, but just looking at it, it looks like maybe they just stood things in those crevices, like makeshift walls or something. I don't know, but maybe they are symbols. But my guess is they're not symbols. And then you can see here a standing stone uncovered during the excavation as well. Looks small, hard to tell. Then some scarab seals, also from the same time period. Very cool. So that's in Jerusalem. Let's see. Did some new pyramids were found recently in the Amazon forest covered by vegetation? I don't know about any pyramids, but they did uncover, and we talked about this last month, they did I think I covered that in my greatest archaeological discoveries of the year. They did uncover cities in the Amazon, absolutely. Yeah. While that had to be a lot of work, but it comes to fruition, and any history learned is amazing. Some might say that's a fortune in and of itself. About the trial document, yeah, bass player? Yeah. Why do we call it every step type building a pyramid? I don't know, Wayne, but I don't like it. Because, you know why? A true pyramid is like the pyramids you see in Egypt, right? Where it's actually a pyramid shape. That's a pyramid, okay? But then they found, they probably knew about it already, but there was the step pyramid, the step structure at Saqqara, which is a predecessor to the pyramids. And so they're like, well, this is the first pyramid, even though it's not the pyramid shape. So then they called it step pyramid. It's a step pyramid. It's a step pyramid. But then people just start saying pyramid. And now you find anything with steps going up, and what do they call it? They call it a pyramid. And then you have fantasy archaeologists and people like that saying, there are pyramids all over the world. They must be connected. But they're not really all pyramids. Egypt really is unique in that sense of having actual pyramids. Sorry, I'm going off on a tangent here. Yeah. I'm leaning on my chair like I'm watching a championship game. In other words, I'm loving this stuff. As soon as I saw City of David, I was like, wow, that's a long time ago. Yeah, that's right, bass player. I thought if it looks like a pyramid, it's a pyramid. The debate concerns whether it's man-made or natural formation. Yeah, well, I mean, if it looks like a pyramid and it's natural and it's not, well, I guess if it's pyramid-shaped. But to be a real pyramid, you have to have a perfect pyramid, right? I don't think a mountain is ever exactly like a pyramid. Might slightly resemble one. Sounds like a prep station for the main temple. Keep the oil and wine production away from the main ritual space. Maybe, Stuart? Maybe. Biggest pyramid on Earth is Mexican. Well, step pyramid. Okay, but yeah, you're right. You're talking about the Cholula pyramid, right? Yeah. By the way, everybody, I might be taking a group there in November. I'm going to keep you posted on this, but we're thinking of doing another Maya tour, but in a different area than where I went before. And Cholula is on the list of places we could go. So if you're interested in that, I'll keep you posted. But yeah, working on a new possible adventure for November. Okay, so let's go on to another piece of news. Ancient Celtic society may have been led by women. What? Impossible! I'm kidding, of course. But yeah, so we're talking about some new research that's been done. Now this is located in Winterbourne, Kingston. Late Iron Age Durotriges burial. So you can see the archaeologist in the pit there. Now what I want to say about this is they've already dug it. The excavation already happened. Might be ongoing, I don't know. But now they've taken DNA samples, and the test results have come in. Okay, so this is a new discovery based on the DNA that's been tested. 57 people. This is in southern England, by the way, Dorset. 57 people were taking their samples. This is from between 100 BC to 100 AD. Okay, so within that 200-year period. And the results suggest women were influential in many spheres of Iron Age life. Indeed, it's possible that maternal ancestry was the primary shaper of group identities, says Dr. Miles Russell, the archaeologist. They found a striking 3/4 of individuals were related through their maternal line, indicating the community named the Durotriges by the Romans was a matrilocal society. All right. Now, that doesn't tell you that women ruled it, but it is a good indication that that could be the case, right? Why are they keeping track of people through their maternal lineage, right? Why are they matrilocal? It might indicate a matriarchy. It's not proven, but it's a distinct possibility. Okay. And if you want to see the whole paper, it's in Nature Communications, and the link is right there. See, patrilocal societies, in which married women move to their male partner's community, are more commonly observed in European Neolithic, Copper, and Bronze Age sites. So that's another thing, right? Because matrilocal means that married men move to their female partner's community. Now, why would that be the case? So that's why they think it was led by women. So here's a burial right here. And you can see some of the... actually, this one was sampled for DNA, right? A Roman coin amulet showing a female charioteer. All right. Durotriges is the Latin or Roman name for the site. All right. So anyway, I thought that was an interesting find as well. Another Roman document, a curse tablet found in Roman-era grave in France. Targets enemies by invoking Mars, the god of war. So there's a Roman-era cemetery in France They found 24 lead tablets. Now, of course, you're going to find things in Latin, but the interesting thing about this is the reason why I'm bringing it up to you, is that some of it was in Gaulish. What is Gaulish, you ask? Well, this is the Roman area called Gaul. France was not called France, it was called Gaul. And the people who lived there, Celtic peoples, they spoke Gaulish. Okay? They lived there even before the Romans ever got there. All right? But of course, even after the Romans took over, there were Gauls living there. And we don't know a lot about the Gaulish languages. There actually was more than one. Okay? But we don't know a lot about the Gaulish languages. And it is extremely rare to find Gaulish writing. Okay? But on these curse tablets, and if you're wondering what curse tablets are, it's where basically you write a curse on somebody. You want to curse somebody? You write a curse tablet, okay? And there has to be rituals associated with it to make it effective and, the magic to work. But they used to love to do that in ancient times, to curse people. People you hated, So, so they found 21 curse tablets there. And they were rolled up lead plates with inscriptions on them, and they look like this. Yeah. Now, first of all, before you even get to see what's on it, how are you going to unroll that thing without destroying it? All right? It's almost impossible. But we have now techniques, restoration techniques. You chemically treat the thin lead plate to protect it from corrosion. Then photographs were taken using reflectance transformation imaging, which produced a clear image of the unrolled tablet. So, in other words, you don't even have to unroll the tablet to read what's on the tablet now. That's the technology that we've got. Isn't that amazing? So, now they're working on deciphering them. Okay? But here is an image of the unrolled tablet with the writing on it. Okay? It's an overlaid transcription of the text. But that's what it looks like. And boy, does that look hard to read. Okay. So, but it's Gaulish. Isn't that cool? Another tablet has been subjected to X-ray tomography. But it has not been virtually unrolled yet. I think this is just the first one. But that is the coolest thing ever. See what technology can do? Amazing. Let's see what we got people saying here. So is Gaulish a P-Celtic, Q-Celtic, or similar language? I'm not sure, Stuart. I'd have to look that up. It's not my area of expertise. Are you saying women don't destroy? Foolish. Oh, you must be talking to somebody else. I did not know the Gauls had a written language. Once they came into contact with people who had writing, they probably wanted to write their language. They wouldn't have had it... Well, I don't know when they started writing it, but it may be that they were non-literate even before they met the Romans. I'm not sure. Celts lived everywhere, and that's why you have Galicia in Spain and Galicia in Ukraine. Yes, that's right, Kasumi. So little Gauls tablets. Oh, so little Gauls, so little time. Yes. Curse tablets, I need some of those. I have a list. Okay, Brian. As long as I'm not on it, it's all right. Maybe they mentioned something about the Druids. Yeah, Brent, maybe. Okay. All right, let's look at another one. When past meets future, drone mapping unlocks secrets of Mega Fortress in the Caucasus. Yeah. Kind of hard to tell from this particular image, okay? But this is the location we're talking about. You can see something there on the ground, perhaps, all right? But anyway, this is a 3,000-year-old fortress in the Caucasus Mountains. Dr. Nathaniel Erb Satullo, senior lecturer in archaeological science at Cranfield Forensic Institute, has been researching the site since 2018. fast forward here. They began with text excavations on the promontory between the gorges. Okay, but we want to get to their new technology. The drone. Yes, the drone took nearly 11,000 pictures, which were knitted together using advanced software to produce high-resolution digital elevation models and orthophotos, composite pictures that show every point as if you were looking straight down. These data sets enabled us to identify subtle topographic features and create accurate maps of all the fortification walls, graves, field systems, and other stone structures within the outer settlement. The results showed that the site was more than 40 times larger than originally thought, including a large outer settlement defended by a 1 kilometer long fortification wall. Yeah. This, when is it from? I didn't tell you that. Late Bronze Age, early Iron Age in the region, which in the Caucasus, I would guess we're talking, oh, it says it already right here, 1500 to 500 BCE. Yeah. Mega fortress, the biggest one of its kind in the area. They're still doing research on it, but I thought that was very interesting as well. A Roman sanctuary with inscriptions discovered in Cova de la Dones, one of the largest rock art sites in the Iberian Peninsula. Okay, so this is in Spain currently. And this is basically a place they already knew about. It's a cave, okay, and it has rock art all through it. Okay, so they already knew about this. There's a lot of prehistoric stuff, later stuff. There's all kinds of rock art in the cave. But just recently, they found 15 Roman inscriptions and a coin from the reign of Emperor Claudius. That would be the 1st century. Inside the cave was a Roman sanctuary. All right. One of the deeper chambers, over 200 meters from the entrance. That's pretty far down. All right. And you can see here, he's telling, the arrow there is showing you where they found the coin. So the coin apparently was stuck into a crack or something in the ceiling. That looks like the ceiling to me, yeah. But you can see all these Latin inscriptions, Latin writings all over it. Not very professional looking, but they are ancient Roman inscriptions. Yeah. See, previously classified as an Iberian sanctuary, because of the presence of Iron Age ceramics, now we know that the Romans used it. So, very interesting. And here's the coin with the Emperor Claudius on it. Yeah. So it shows that it wasn't just used in one time period. We know it was used earlier, but also it was used even in Roman times. So that's an interesting discovery. Now this one you may have heard of. I shared it on social media a few weeks ago. Egypt uncovers blocks from 18th dynasty Queen Hatshepsut temple. It's a very famous site, you know, Hatshepsut's temple. I got to go there actually in November. And oh, who's that in the in the video? It's none other than Zahi Hawass. Yeah, he's the one that worked on this. And they found intact portions of the foundation wall from her valley temple. Okay, so I want to show you some pictures of what they found. Okay, this is in the 1400s BCE, so pretty old. And I wonder if I can, yeah, let's make it bigger. You can see some of it still has color on some of these blocks. And this is where they've got everything laid out. This is where they've been working on it. So this is to the side of the where all the tourists go. Look at, she is basically has pieced together this bowl, this large bowl. You can see them working here. If you go there now, you might even see them outside because it's right near where you can go. This is wooden coffins inside the tomb of Jehuti Mesht, which is nearby. And here are some of the cool stone blocks. Hatshepsut's temple, by the way, is not in the greatest condition if you go there. A lot of it's been reconstructed to show you what it was like. But there are a lot of fragmentary pieces of art. But this is great to find this. Ooh, what happened? Did somebody give me a super chat? Oh, yeah, thank you, Wayne. $20, I appreciate it. Dr. Miano, would you please reveal what year of your studies do you take to oath to not to tell the... Oh, he's making a joke. Oh, and what... when I took my oath not to tell the truth about alien lizard people and Atlantean overlords? Asking for Giorgio. Oh, hey, don't tell anybody, Wayne. You're not supposed to know about that. Ooh, that's the temple from Assassin's Creed, Origins. I know everybody hates Zahi Hawass. Didn't he lose his job as minister a few years ago? Yeah, Rena. He did, but he still excavates. He still has a lot of influence there, and he gets to, he has excavations going on all the time. Yeah, I'm going to a Zahi Hawass lecture this summer, says Brent. Wow, okay, I want to hear all about it later. Yeah, I don't know if you all know this, but in an older video on this channel, I got to interview Zahi Hawass, and he was telling us about some of his discoveries in Saqqara that year. I think it was in 2020, maybe? 2021? Somewhere around there. Yeah. I know, though, lots of people, especially in the pseudo-archaeology crowd, hate him. They accuse him of, like, hiding evidence and things like that. But I think they really don't like him just because he calls them pyramidiots. All right, let's go to another one here. Oh, is there? Oh, there's more pictures here. Let's see. Okay, that was the last one. All right, let's go to another one. Oh, this is where I found it first. It was on Facebook, and there are some additional images here, which I thought you might like. Oh, I don't know how old that is. There's part of a block right there, close up. And yeah, that's her. Remember, she dressed like a man. Look at that. The cartouche. So they're not very large blocks, as you can see. They have them on display, so maybe you can go down there now. Oh, some of these things were found earlier. I think the blocks are the new part. Yeah. Anyway, pretty cool. All right, another one here. 6th century BC houses and earthquake evidence discovered in Dafti Blur, an Urartian fortress city in Armenia. Maybe you've heard of Urartu? Urartu? It's where we get the word Ararat. Okay, and it's in the Bible, Ararat. Urartu was basically an important kingdom back then. And they found remnants from the 6th century BCE right here. Houses, cremation cemetery, and signs of an earthquake at the site. Okay, you can tell, of course, by how things were destroyed. We don't get a ton of information about Urartu, but there's been a lot of excavation, a lot of archaeological work in the area to try to find out more about it, because we don't have any documents, no tablets yet have been found from Urartu, and I think they really want to find some to help us fill in some of the gaps. But they have found structures, and here you can see the site from afar, Dafti Blur, and here's remains of a house. Yeah, and anyway, so I thought that was interesting. And then we have a new bone test that could rewrite British history. How so? Now, this is a brand new way to test DNA. Okay? We already know about other DNA tests, but this is new technology here, everybody, that might be able to fill in gaps about ancient history. Okay? What it actually does is it's able to narrow down when certain DNA branched off of other DNA. Okay? Before, you can give a general, broad period of time when two haplogroups may have diverged from each other and all of that. But now, with this new technology, they can detect more subtler changes, okay, and narrow it down to within a few hundred years of when, various DNA branches may have emerged. Okay? Yeah, so they use this new method to analyze human remains found in Britain, stretching from Roman times through Anglo-Saxon times and Viking times, right? Yeah. So this work is being done at King's College London. The project will analyze the DNA of more than 1,000 ancient human remains of people who lived in Britain during the past 4,500 years. Okay, so notice he's talking about the future here, but this is when they were talking of the project's ongoing. Okay, but they did publish results in Nature. Okay, and it confirmed that the method worked. Okay, so they didn't yet do all the study of all the remains, but they did do tests to show that this method is able to be used on ancient remains. So now they're doing that, and you can see them taking samples and all of this. All right. So this is the Vikings' DNA history right here. Because they want to find out, like, when the Germanic peoples went this way or that way, when Scandinavia expanded into other areas, all of that. But we don't know the answers yet. But I wanted you to be aware of this new technology that they're now in the process of using on these ancient remains. So maybe next year we'll hear something. I don't know. Maybe in 6 months. I don't know. It'd be really cool though. I think people claim the Ark is somewhere on Ararat. Well, that's because in the Bible it says that Noah's Ark landed on Mount Ararat. Jason says, Dr. Miano, how much will the U.S. backing out of global obligations influence current archaeology? I don't know, Jason. That remains to be seen. I don't know enough about the inner workings of everything to be able to tell. But I do know, I think it's pretty obvious, that funding is going to go right down the tubes, right? They're like cutting everything. No more money for non-necessary things. And so I'm sure they think that about archaeology. But there are other funders of archaeology, like nonprofits and things like that. So hopefully they can get it from other sources. Glenn says, recently finished a great book on ancient human DNA research. Oh yeah, the David Reich book. Yes. I have that book myself. It's a pretty interesting book. Yeah. Have you heard that granite was found under the Temple of the Sphinx through drilling? I had not heard about that, Giovanni. If you can send me the link, I would certainly be interested in looking at that. Does this just happen? And it could be in the bedrock. I don't know, but that would be interesting. Yeah. Stefan Milo has some great stuff on DNA. Yes, he certainly does. I'm hoping for the success for that King's College in the UK into working more on that then. Yes, me too. One of my favorite channels. I love positivity and discovering new parts of our ever-complex histories. Thank you, Gothar. Bass player. Norman people in France, don't make me turn this boat around. Why doesn't mainstream history acknowledge Tartaria? I can never tell when people are kidding or not, If you look at the map, Wealthy Future, you will see Tartaria on it from a few centuries ago. But you know what? That's not ancient history, so it's out of my area. Very interesting. I was getting ready to narrate and upload the next episode of Bronze Age Caveman, but this live stream distracted me. Okay. Didn't the Ark and Gilgamesh land on the same mountain? No, different mountain. Mount, oh, I forgot. I knew it, but I forgot. Sorry to say. Raphetic is all in favor of not spending more money on archaeology. Okay. All right, well, anyway, let's look at some more. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 7 more things to show you. I want to speed this up a little bit. Lead pollution in ancient Rome may have dropped average IQ by up to 3 points. Study finds. What? Yeah, lead pollution dropping people's IQ. Did you not know that could happen? That can happen. Yeah. Well, let's go down here. Lead pollution dropped the average IQ in ancient Rome by 2.5 to 3 points, the study found. The research is based on analysis of lead concentrations in ice cores extracted from Greenland. You might be wondering, like, wait a minute, Greenland is nowhere near Rome. But it can tell us a lot about it, you see, because when you smelt these metals, okay, like they're working with lead, all right, the pollution goes up into the air, right? And it gets absorbed in other places. The wind blows it, whatever. Okay? So, yes, somewhere as far away as Greenland could have evidence of the lead pollution there. So that's what they did. Yeah. The study published Monday in the Journal Proceedings of the National Academy of Sciences amplifies long-standing questions about what role, if any, lead pollution played in the empire's downfall. So they're even suggesting, now this is going a little bit maybe further than the study, but they're like, well, maybe that's why Rome fell. They got stupider. I don't know about that, okay? But yeah, there was lead pollution, and it is a neurotoxin, and it could affect people's mental health. We do have a lot of weird emperors in later times. Who knows? But whether that caused Rome's downfall, I don't know. It certainly maybe could have contributed in some way. I don't know. Yeah. But, oh yeah, look at this. There's an ice core right here. So if you're interested in that, science, folks. Science giving us information about ancient history. All right, now this one is about... we know from Hittite records that there was this place called Casca, and there were these people, the Casca people, who were ruled over by the Hittites. But we've never found any evidence of their existence until now. Okay? Yeah, the first archaeological evidence for the existence of the Casca community. Okay? So this is taking place, this is a late Bronze Age archaeological site. Okay? In Inonu Cave in Alajabuk village in the Areli district of Zonguldak, northern Turkey. So this is way up there in the north, but they have found remains here that are it's in the area that the Hittites say that they lived. It's in the right time period. Okay? So they believe that the items that they found there are from this Casca community. Okay? They dated the items that were there. They're from the late Bronze Age, right around the right time period. Okay? There's a professor working on it. So this is from 1650 to 1200 BC. Okay? And the cave has evidence of continuous occupation for 6,500 years. But the things that they found just recently are from the Casca period. So I thought that was another great find. In China, just recently, you may have seen the episode, I visited the site of Erlito. I don't know if you all saw that one. This is the first capital of China from the very first dynasty. All right? But one thing that they had not found were the city walls. Until now. Okay? Yeah. They discovered rammed earth structures highly suspected to be the city walls of a Shah dynasty capital. This is at Gucheng village, just opposite the ruins of Erlito. All right? And at this Gucheng village, they found what appear to be remnants of the walls. The walls that they've been looking for. Now, why were they looking for walls? Well, of course, they want to know if the area was fortified, but also in the legends there is discussion about the walls being there, and they wanted to confirm that they actually did build walls. Now, these are not huge stone walls. It's not like the Great Wall of China. This is rammed earth we're talking about here. So it's very, this is old times, right? But they did find what appeared to be fortifications there. So yeah, that was a pretty good discovery too. Then, some researchers, I should say, were looking for the exact spot where Alexander the Great fought the Persians at the Battle of the Granicus River we're talking about. This would be in Anatolia. This is one of the first major battles. I think it's the first major battle between Alexander and the Persians. And Alexander, of course, won it. And but people weren't exactly sure right, where the fight took place. Well, now they think they know. Okay? Researchers may have. We always have to say may have. This is another thing. When you read these things, we were just reading other ones. It's like, well, maybe it's this and maybe it's that. Those are, by the way, good article writers. The media who make sure to put in the words may and probably and possibly and all of that are doing a good job. The ones who are more definite, not so much. Because that's how archaeologists and historians are in their actual academic writings. Possibly, maybe, could be an indication of, right? They never want to be too definite about anything. Okay, the evidence points in this direction, and so forth. Because, and then, people accuse historians and archaeologists of being too definite. But that's because the media does that. So I like it when they say may have. Okay. The site is about 6 miles north of the city of Biga in northwest Turkey. How did they figure this out? Okay. They're not the first ones to suggest it. Okay. But they did want to go get additional evidence to confirm that this is the actual site. So they identified the remains of the ancient city of Hermion, which ancient records indicate was the location of Alexander's last encampment before the battle. So once you find that city, he wouldn't have gone that much farther. It would have been within a day's march, right? Then they conducted geomorphological tests to reconstruct what the nearby landscape looked like when the battle was fought. Okay? They found the path of the Granicus River had changed only a little bit since Alexander's time. Okay? They also found some areas were marshy in Alexander's time and don't match the description of the battlefield. So basically, by process of elimination, you can work out where his troops marched, right? And then where they would have to try to cross the river. All right? And basically, that's how they were able to figure out the spot. And this is it right here. In this area we're looking at right here. It would have once had water, I assume. Yeah. So, pretty cool. Hagia Sophia's mysterious underground tunnels and vaults and tombs to open for visitors. You might not even have known about this, folks. But at the Hagia Sophia in Istanbul, okay, this is the Church of St. Sophia that was constructed by Justinian the Great during his reign anyway, that tourists can go and visit. I got a chance to go visit it. You can go into the church and you can see, well, it's a mosque now, but you can go in there and see there's still Christian remains in it, okay? But now, they've cleaned up the underground tunnels and they're going to let people go down there, okay? And these tunnels actually preceded the building of the church, okay? So they're even older. Not Atlantis older, but just older, okay? Yeah, so they were used for all kinds of things, ventilation, storage, burials, and all of that. But they're going to let people go down there. So if you're planning a trip to Constantinople, to Istanbul, might be worth going to see. More Roman tablets, okay, but this one I wanted to bring up because the tablets list some towns. Okay, now this is at the site of Abel Beth Makkah in northern Israel. These tablets unveil information about previously unknown towns. Okay, so they're new names of towns that existed in the area that we didn't know about. Okay, they constituted a tetrarchic boundary stone. What that means is that from the time of the tetrarchy. Okay, that means when there were 4 Roman emperors. This is during the reign of Diocletian. He restructured the government so there were 4 emperors at the same time. The tablets mention towns like Tirthas and Golgol, and they're like, where are they? We've never heard of them before. So it's kind of cool to get more information about towns that existed, because that's possible archaeological site right there, right? If we can figure out where they were, then maybe we can dig something up. So I thought that was an interesting discovery as well. And then the last thing I want to tell you about, folks, and then I'll look at your comments before I go. There was a heist. Yeah, this is not an archaeological discovery, but I thought it was interesting. There was a heist. Yeah, a heist. So this is well, what you're looking at it right here. Okay, this is in the Netherlands at the Drents Museum in Assen. Okay, and there was a theft of invaluable artifacts from ancient Dacia. Dacia is not in the Netherlands. Okay, I'm not sure how they got it, but Dacia was basically north of the Danube River from the Roman Empire, and it was conquered in the reign of Trajan. This area of Dacia, and you can look it up on a map. But anyway, so there were some Dacian treasures dating back to 450 BC. Okay, and one was this golden helmet that you see here, the golden helmet of Kothofaneshti. I think you say it like that. Yeah, this is the region of Thrace. Okay, and 3 royal Dacian bracelets. So what happened? Now, you don't normally see a heist of archaeological items in a museum anymore, right? But here we go. This was on January 25th, so it was last week. Okay, there was an explosion at the museum, and yeah, they used the explosives to get through a reinforced door. All right, and most of the gold and silver treasures that, now this is the sad part. Okay, if they took the gold and silver, I sure as heck hope they don't melt it down. Maybe they'll try to sell the artifacts on an illegal auction or whatever. I don't know. But there were 3 individuals. They were on surveillance footage. And, yeah, no injuries. So anyway, so those are the artifacts. Here's another one that was stolen. Well, actually, that's the same one. I think that's the back side. Or the side of it. Yeah. The heist has elicited strong reactions from Dutch and Romanian officials. A dark day for the museum and our Romanian... Oh yeah, Dacia would be in Romania, I expect. Yes. So anyway, a heist. Can you believe that? All right, let's look at some comments here. A beautiful museum. So sad what happened. At least, Glenn, you'll have some... Okay. I think it was a visiting exhibition. Oh, a visiting exhibition in the Netherlands? Oh, that makes it worse for the Netherlands. Whoa, cool. Who were the people group that built those tunnels under the Aya? This would be Romans. Just previous Romans. Yeah. Wow, it's a real heist. Hopefully not melted down. Prophetic. All stories are provisional, including today's certain histories. Be well, talk soon. Use replicas, you schmucks. Well, people want to see the real things, you know? Don't they? When you go to a museum and you see a replica, you're like, oh, that's really cool, but I don't know, it's nice to see the originals. Oh, you mean replace them at night, maybe. In that heist, some people might have wanted the actual artifacts, so hopefully you might want the actual items and not the gold. Hey, I got one super chat today. If you can help out the channel, it would be much appreciated. I am a full-time YouTuber and online teacher, so all my living is based off of here. Teaching classes, teaching you on YouTube. So if you want to help out the channel with a super chat, it would be much appreciated. Or if you want to do it more long-term, you can do it on patreon.com. It's just $2 a month to help out the channel. That would be much appreciated, too. Anything you can do. But even just watching the commercials helps me out to some extent. But I do appreciate your support. Let's see. They got the thieves, but not the treasures. Oh, okay. Too bad. Maybe they were time travelers from back in the day reclaiming sacred objects. The explosion was used as a distraction. Interesting. All right. Well, everybody, I hope you enjoyed the news for this month. Archaeological news. I do thank you for coming here, and I love sharing these things with you. I will do it again next month, so keep your eyes open for that, probably on March 1st, I think. And of course, there's always new videos coming out on the World of Antiquity channel, so keep your eyes open for that too.